What do narcissists do when you ignore them entirely? The narcissist clearly needs your attention. They long and yearn for it. They crave it. They beg and demand for it. Because they have a very strong desire for it. To the point where it seems urgent and intense. As though they can't live without it. As though their fuel tank is running on empty. And they need you to top it up. As though they've been starved of attention for a very long time, when in fact it may have just been a few hours or minutes since you last attended to them. But it's like they're already struggling to uphold themselves. It's like they're falling apart without your attention, because your attention gives them fuel. It's their narcissistic supply, and they can't live without it. They need it to function and thrive. Which is why they can't stand it if you use the grey rock method, or if you go no contact. They hate it when you ignore them, because they're arrogant and entitled. They have an exaggerated sense of their own abilities and importance, so they believe that they are inherently deserving of privileges and special treatment. They feel like they have the right to do and have whatever they want, because in their minds they're the best thing since sliced bread. Although whatever you give to them is just for themselves, they're self-absorbed. They're preoccupied with their own feelings, interests and situation. And yet they expect you to make your life revolve around them. Which is very impractical and unrealistic. And it is how they're predisposed to being highly disagreeable and highly sensitive to criticism. Because they expect you to provide them with an endless, constant stream of validation and admiration. To make themselves feel desirable, attractive and important. While you will be starved of love, attention and affection, to the point where you no longer have any love or empathy to give. Because by not reciprocating, they've drained you of your energy reserves and emotional resources, and yet they are still dependent on you as a source for their supply. Which is a recipe for disaster. It just sets them up for failure. And yet they wonder how or why everything seems to fall apart for them. But it's because they're just thinking about themselves. Narcissism is self-destructive. It doesn't produce anything healthy or fruitful. It destroys anything that is good. Because they're not thinking about the future. They're thinking about how they're going to sustain the love and attention that they're getting from you. So if you're not willingly giving them your attention in the moment, it bruises their ego. It overwhelms their defense mechanisms and diminishes their false sense of pride and self-worth, to where they will then seek other more darker means to get it, which could become very dangerous for you. Because they will do anything to get it back. They may exhibit histrionic traits. They may become overdramatic. And they may even become abusive. But if they have other sources of supply at their disposal, then they may just ignore you. Because they are highly competitive. So if you're ignoring them, then they will want to outdo you. They will want you to fall apart without them, and then come running back to them. Because it makes them feel wanted and powerful, as though you cannot function without them. When really, it's because you may value loyalty. Or maybe they have isolated you, so they may be your only source of validation, support and social interaction. Which makes it very easy for them to toy with you, and even paint you as the narcissist. Because when you're dealing with a narcissist, most of the time you're the one who's going to be starved of love and affection. Well, if they're not getting supply from you, they may have many other sources whom they can depend on. Which is how it's very easy for a narcissist to paint their victim as a narcissist. Because while you're providing them with everything they need to function effectively, you're not even getting your basic needs met. But they will lie and act like they're doing everything they can to assist you. Which makes it appear as though you are the one with the problem, when really you're just being starved of basic necessities that humans need to function, while they're getting everything they need from you, And they may have other sources of supply as well. So they can give you the silent treatment whenever they choose to. Because if you're just a genuine, loyal, good-hearted person, or if they've isolated you, then they know it's going to have a detrimental effect on you. They know it's going to leave you longing and yearning for them to return, especially if they orchestrate the situation to where it seems as though they're unbothered, as though they're not even annoyed, interested or concerned, while you may be ruminating over them, as you may not have anyone else to turn to. So they know they can pull the strings on you whenever they choose to. They know they've got you under their thumb, which is exactly what they want. Because if you are a potent source of supply to the narcissist, and they've got you under their control, to them that means that they're winning. But sometimes you might be in a position where you're able to ignore them. Maybe you have other friends or other activities, other duties or responsibilities that you need to attend to. So in those situations, they will try to lure and entice you. They will try to bait you into something that you wouldn't otherwise be thinking about, through the use of old photographs or music that you used to listen to. They will portray it as though things were better back then, and as though things should be like that again. But they won't mention about how they were the ones who ruined those moments, or how their behaviour contributed to your unhappiness. They will use romantic gestures or sweet talking, actions or words that express affection, care or thoughtfulness, because they know that after you've been starved of love and affection, or after they've abused you, you're going to be seeking safety, security and comfort. So they see it as an opportunity for them to groom you and extract even more supply from you. They could neglect and abuse you for years, or even decades. And then the moment you pull away, the moment that you ignore them, they will then try to lure you back into the cycle of abuse. They may even say that the very moment you pulled away after the years or decades of abuse or neglect, and have waited and hoped that they would change, that they were actually going to do a kind or thoughtful gesture for you. They were actually going to be the person that you had wanted them to be. When really, they don't mean any of it. It's just a tool they use to keep you stuck, so that they can continue deriving benefits or resources from you, because they really don't care about you. It doesn't matter how long they've kept you stuck, or how damaging or intense the abuse was. In fact, that may just make them care even less about you. Because if they were to be vulnerable about what they put you through, it would then look and feel bad for them. So the worse the abuse is, and the longer they've kept you stuck in the abusive cycle, the less they're going to have any pity, sympathy or mercy for you, to the point where at the end of the relationship, they could just cut you off without a second thought. Even if you wasted your entire life on them, or if they believe they can still get more from you, they will run a smear campaign on you and blame you for everything. So how much they've abused you, or how long they've kept you waiting for them to change, doesn't mean anything to a narcissist. It just makes them hate you even more, because it just says something bad about them, which they then have to project onto you and punish and blame you for. So they do not mean anything that they say. They actually see it as an accomplishment if they can mistreat you for all of those years where you wasted all of your time on them, and then you pulled away, but then they can still manage to pull you back in. To them that means that they have won. And you may have tried every possible means and reason with them, and yet they could never seem to understand your point of view. But the moment you pull away, they will then begin using your same phrases that you endlessly use to try to reason with them. The very same phrases that didn't get you anywhere. And they may even acknowledge that maybe there's something wrong with you. They may suggest that you seek a therapist. But if you sever ties with them and you choose to focus on yourself and your own life, then they may stalk you persistently. To gradually reduce your confidence and strength by oppressing, persecuting, afflicting and maltreating you, and unjustly inflicting hardship and constraint, to where they may weigh heavily on your mind and spirits, causing you depression or discomfort. Or they may do things to entice or provoke you, knowing that they're going to get a particular reaction from you, because they're desperate to get their supply back. Or it could be part of their revenge. But whatever the reason may be, they want you to know that they're still there. Which is why they may even contact your friends or family, and they will try to destroy any support that you have. They will spread gossips and rumours, because they want to destroy your reputation. They want to make it difficult for people to associate with you, so that you have no support. Because when you're ignoring them, it makes it difficult for them to control you. So instead, they will try to control how people perceive you, and they may be hoping that it causes you to challenge and confront them. Because either way, they will feel like they're winning as long as you're engaging with them. They may also guilt trip you. They may use your feelings of kindness, sympathy or duty in order to persuade you to do or feel something for them, so that they can assert power and control. They may question how you could abandon the pet or the children, and choose to claim that you are selfish and uncaring. But if that still doesn't cause you to engage, they will become very aggressive, either to get you back, or if they've suffered a severe narcissistic injury, they may just want to punish you. They will criticize and insult you. They will become very threatening and intimidating, and they may even become physically violent, because they're trying to punish you into submitting to them, all because they want supply. They want your attention. Even though they neglect and abuse you and you waste years of your life on them, they can't bear to lose. It's humiliating for them, so they will do whatever it takes to get what they want. They will future fake. They will make false promises about your future in order to get what they want from you in the present, but they will never follow it up with action. It is just a means to an end, and they will feel justified in treating you this way because they feel entitled to what they're getting from you. When you ignore the narcissist, they will feel rejected. They will feel less powerful and confident, as though you have deprived them of influence or importance. They will feel offended and upset, and they will do whatever they can to defend themselves, which will typically result in them further manipulating you. But if that doesn't work, they will mock and ridicule you, and if that still doesn't get the reaction that they want, they may even become violent and destructive, because they need to feel like you need them, or that they're greater than you, or that you can't live without them. They need to feel useful and important, which is a delusion, because they clearly don't care about the effects their behaviour has on you, and they can even become vengeful, but they justify it. They see it as though they're just oppressing or getting rid of the problem, because that's the only way that they can feel better about themselves, by seeing you as the enemy and then embarking on a campaign to take you out, so that they can then regain a sense of dominance and control. But they will remain emotionally wounded for a very long time. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the subscribe button to receive the notifications. If you would like to support the channel, you can donate to paypal.me/Narc Survivor. You can book a one-on-one with me on my website. It's narcsurvivor.co.uk. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.